Now, the light of Chanuka is all about oneness. It's all about oneness. Just strange because there are many, many days of Chanuka. But the whole thing of Chanuka is about oneness, because the manyness of Chanuka, all the different nights, are only the outgrowth of that one tiny little jug, that tiny little jar of pure oil that they found under the rubble of the Beis HaMikdash. Under all the smashed vessels, under all the broken kalim, they found one tiny little jar that's still sealed with the seal of the Kohen Gadol. And from that one tiny little jar becomes many. One night, and then another night, and another night, and another night. But fundamentally at its core, it's just that one little jug that continues to last and to fill the space of the many. Maybe this is another interpretation of what we're going to say in Tefillah 3 times a day. In Al Anisim, we're going to say that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you gave them what really means a military victory. And we say, V'rabim biyad ma'atim. What does it mean on a literal level? V'rabim biyad ma'atim. It's referring to the size of the armies, right? But the many, the gigantic, enormous Greek army was given over into the hands of the few. The Chashmonaim, the Maccabim. But maybe in a very, very deep way, what Chanukah is all about is to be able to look around at the manyness of life, at the multiplicity of different experiences and different places and times and stages and phases of life and circumstances and the different things that we encounter throughout this journey. And V'rabim on Chanukah, that experience of the many, is traced back to the Ma'at. Is traced back to just that one little primordial jug, just that source from where everything else splits off from. Isn't that what Emunah is? Isn't that what it means to have Emunah? Not just to have Emunah like it's another thing that you own. Like you have a house and you have a car and you have Emunah. You know, it's just like another thing. But to really have Emunah, to live with Emunah in such a way that it changes the way that we operate, that we look at all of life through different lenses, we react differently to situations, we respond differently, we think differently. What it means is to see everything through the lens of oneness, to find the one single creator in all of his creation so that everything is categorized in one category. We're all emanations of the divine. Everything that we experience, just another emanation of godliness, another miracle, another miracle, another miracle, another revelation, another way of contacting HaKadosh Baruch Hu here and going through this challenge. This is another way of getting close to Hashem. And eating this food, another way, you make a bracha, getting close to Hashem. So maybe this is what Habakkuk means. And what the Gemara means when it tells us that all the different tzaddikim were trying to distill Judaism, Yiddishkeit, down into simpler and simpler and simpler terms until the Gemara tells us at the very end, Ba Habakkuk, came Habakkuk hanavi vehemidan al achas. And he got it down to just one point, to one singular kernel. V'tzadik be'emunasa yichya. The righteous person, what it means to be righteous, lives by his faith. And maybe it's not just stam, it's not for nothing, that Habakkuk presented this with vehemidan al achas. It's not just that it happens to be a singular principle, and this is the principle. The principle is achas. Ba Habakkuk, came along Habakkuk vehemidan, and he said, you know what sits at the core of all of Yiddishkeit, what the point of all of it is? Literally the point? Ba Habakkuk vehemidan al achas. He said that already is the point. That already is the principle. It's all oneness. just to encounter that presence beyond every mask. B'tzadik be'emunasa yichya. It means to live with faith, to really live with it, not just to have it, but to live with emunah. We sing before Lahagid Ba'boiker Chazdecha in the morning when everything's going well. When we can see Hashem because it's clear that His energy is guiding things, that things are going in the way that we perceive them to need to go, that the way that they should go, then it's easy. We sing God's praise in the morning. But ve'emunascha, ve'emunascha. When is it time for faith in God? Baleilos. Specifically in the darkness, specifically in the nighttime. When it's not clear, that is when it's time to turn on that energy of emunah. Turn it up. To turn it up. You know what Yavan is, what Greece is? Chazal say choshech zu Yavan. Yavan is darkness. They represent the greatest obstacle to faith. The way that we combat that darkness of Yavan is not by battling the darkness, but by looking past the facade and seeing it as another form of light. Ve'emunascha baleilos means that there is no nighttime. It means there is only day and almost day. There is no night. It's not a category that's real, just masking what's beyond, the dawn to come, the dawn that's already in process of rising. So this is where we are now. I don't think there's been a time in our lifetime, all of us, no matter what stage you are or age you are in this room, what we're going through now is not simple. Choshech kafel u'mekupal, a deep, deep, doubled over, tripled over darkness. And so everybody's asking, well, how do you have emunah at a time like this? And the answer, the response is not, how do you have emunah at a time like this? Is there ever a better time to turn that up? To press down on the gas pedal of faith? To put emunah into action? To not be shaken? Gonna come up to Purim soon, like Mordechai Hatzadik, lo yichrav lo yishtachav, and not to bow, not to bend, not to shake, not to tremble for a second. We're the eternal nation. This is our bread and butter. This is where we thrive. Look at us. We're shining. We're shining. Now it's time to have emunah in a way that we've never had emunah before. To face the choshech zu yavan. And to respond with this deep emunah. That although it looks like midnight, dawn is already rising. Ani ma'amin, ani ma'amin, ani ma'amin. V'vig emunah sheleinu. V'vigas HaMoshiach HaMamin V'vigas HaMoshiach V'vigas HaMoshiach Ani Mahamin Oh Yani Mahamin Ani Mahamin Ani Mahamin Big Emunah Shela Ve'asa Mashiach HaNemameh.